in Dragon Ball Super. My name is Kyle. Thank you for checking us out. Two guests today. First, Raysean Gadson of the Raysean Gadson Anime Podcast. Ray, how you doing, man?
I am doing great, man. How you guys doing? I'm glad to be here to talk to you guys, talk about a little bit of Dragon Ball. I know it's been a little bit of a minute, but I'm here.
I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you just went, I've been great. And the great kind of scared me, but also made me feel reassured that you were, in fact, doing great. Also joined by my friend Josh from Dad's Anime Stache. Josh, what's up, man?
I am from Dad's Anime Stache. That's true. Hey, everything's great. Everything's going great. The podcast is right on track.
Hell yeah. As are all of our podcasts, I'm sure, except my own. We're going to talk about Dragon Ball Daima today, episodes 1 and 2. I didn't want to do an episode 1 by itself, mainly because we more or less knew everything that was going to happen in that first episode based off of the promotional footage and trailers and stuff. And it's a fun extended ride for episode 1, but I just didn't feel like there was enough to really dig into. Episode 2, I'm glad we waited for that because episode 2, I think, brought in some new fun things that I think sets a better overall tone for what this show will be throughout. But episode 1 felt like a fucking little mini movie a little bit. I'm going to read some synopsis or a synopsis for episode 1, but before I do that, guys, thumbs up, thumbs down. Josh, I'll start with you. Thumbs up or thumbs down for episode 1?
I wish I had a third thumb to put up for episode 1. I loved everything about it.
Yeah, that strongly. 3 thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Raysean, thumbs up, thumbs down?
I'll probably go in the middle.
You always do that when I give you a thumbs up. Thumbs down. You always go right in the middle.
Okay, I guess I'll go up then. I liked it more than I disliked it, so.
All right. Well, for episode 1, I'm gonna go thumbs in the middle. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go thumbs up. Thumbs up because it is a visually stunning series. And episode 1 is a full display of that. I guess I just didn't really enjoy the pacing of it a little bit. The pacing for episode 1 is weird. You spend a whole lot of time with King Goma and what's his name? Degesu. That's it. The Supreme Kai's brother. You spend so much time with them just reliving the Buu arc that I'm like, where's our regular cast? I miss Goku and Vegeta. Where are the boys at? But yeah, I definitely give it a thumbs up. I think it does a nice job kind of teasing what the show is going to be. And then episode 2 follows it up with a solid example of what the series will be. But let's read this just in case anybody hasn't seen it and is listening to this as some kind of supplement or like replacement, I should say. Conspiracy. Aya Komaki directed that shit. Takeo Ide and Chikashi Kubota animation directed by. Let's see. After the death of Dabura, King Goma becomes the new king of the demon realm. He and Degesu, Shin's younger brother, watch what transpired against Majin Buu, and that was literally 20 minutes of the goddamn episode. Dr. Irinsu, Shin and Degesu's sister, joins them to ask Goma if he will give supplies for her research, just like Dabura did, and gives them the idea to use the Dragon Balls to make the warriors who fought against Majin Buu young in order for them to not pose any threat to the demon realm. Because they're all like shit in their pants, like, oh my God, he did it. That was actually kind of a fun way to relive the Buu saga. Because, like, we all know what happens, but to see their reactions incrementally throughout, be like, well, what happens next? Oh my God, he killed Babidi. Oh, now Boo's gonna kill them. Oh, now he ate him. Oh, now, like, it was a funny thing. Like, it was a very Toriyama kind of like joke to have us relive the stuff that we know back and forth through these two fucking clown looking demon people, or Goma is a clown looking demon person, and just watch them react to it. That was fun. Due to the demon realm's Dragon Balls being protected by robot creatures called Tamagami, Goma, Degesu, and Neva, creator of the demon realm's Dragon Balls, go to Kami's lookout. When they leave the demon realm, they learn that Dr. Arinsu visited Earth at some point. On Kami's lookout, Neva uses his power to collect Earth's Dragon Balls. Dende tries to stop them, but is knocked unconscious by Degesu. Meanwhile, the Z-Warriors and friends are celebrating Trunks' 9th birthday party at Capsule Corp. Degesu summons Shenron, and Goma wishes for the warriors who fought Majin Buu to be turned into children. I think I do have a minor nitpick with this last sentence. Not so much the sentence itself, but like the conditions of the wish here. So they turned pretty much everybody who was involved in the fight with Boo into children. And I guess I kind of get like some ancillary characters like Mr. Satan, Dende, Popo. I understand them turning into kids. They were involved, in the battle against Majin Buu. But like the Ox King, why does he get turned? Master Roshi, why does he get turned into a kid? I'm sure that there's other examples that I'm not thinking of right now. There's a lot of people there that get turned into kids that I'm just like, is this just because it's fun to have you be a kid, or?
Well, they all kind of interacted with Boo when he went to the hideout and killed them all.
I guess, yeah. Like if by fight against Boo you mean he fucking destroyed everyone on the planet Earth.
Well, Chi-Chi fought Boo.
Yeah, is that real or is that filler stuff? And the reason reason why I'm asking, no, shut the fuck up. The reason I'm asking is because a person like Akira Toriyama, who wrote this script, he would not fucking know if that was filler or not, or if it happened, and he wouldn't give a shit.
He never watched Dragon Ball, but he never watched the anime, but he might have seen a clip of Chi-Chi slapping Boo and thought, shit, that's good. Why didn't I do that? Because that fits 100% in something I would have liked.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a knack for borrowing, right? Hey, that's a fun idea. Let me see if I can make that a little bit cooler. Which, I mean, is this Dragon Ball GT 2.0, boys? What do y'all think?
I don't think anything gets cooler than Dragon Ball GT, but I like the vibes. I like the vibes.
I really don't like the vibes of the show, but that's just me.
What do you mean, man? Tell me more.
I don't like it because it feels more like a kid show, and I just don't vibe with it. I would have liked it more if it would have stuck with more like a Dragon Ball type of censorship type of thing. But I feel like when I'm watching this, it's like I'm literally watching like a show that should be on like Nickelodeon, like in the morning time type shit. But
watching some Dragon Ball Muppet Babies,
basically. But I mean, that's just
what
the first.
I said this was earlier. I love it.
It's like, but this has been the first 2 episodes. It could get more, fleshed out, get more into the plot, and we might see some more adult themes. But just right now, it's just been like, I don't know, man. Like this literally feel like I'm getting a toy from McDonald's type of thing.
That's a hell of a way to describe the designs, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Let me tell you something, man. I argue on the internet a lot with people about Frasier. Okay,
that's hilarious.
It's not. It's
no, it is. That is so fucking funny. I did not expect that sentence to start and then end with the word Frasier.
Yeah, but there's a new series of Frasier, right? It came out last year, and people like to dog on it a lot. The original fans, but the original fans don't take into account that they watched Frasier for 11 years, and then they watched Frasier again and again and again for 11 years. And they have all this nostalgia for it, and that's why it seems so much better than the stuff that's coming out now. The other thing they don't take into account is when you have 11 years worth of something, you have a lot of something versus 2 episodes, which is not a lot of something. You gotta just give it a chance, Raysean. It hasn't even landed on its feet yet.
It's just, I'm just waiting for it. That's why I said, I'll give it a little bit more time and probably story flesh out a little bit more. It might get more adult themes into it. But right now, I just like, I don't know. But I guess also the feeling, Toriyama died and all that. So it's like,
What, you're still guilt watching it? Is that what you're saying?
not guilt watching it. It's more like, like I've said in previous episodes, I don't think you should really keep going with something when the creator's dead. I feel like they should have ended it. But this is my opinion.
This is the last thing he wrote, as a Dragon Ball product before he died. So if that's the only reason alone that this series got made, then that's enough for me. But it's not the only reason. I mean, I think this is supposed to be a very fun celebration of the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball and bringing it back to those, that little Goku aesthetic is the heart of Dragon Ball, always and forever. Like, that's why when Goku grew up, they went out of their way to keep a kid in the cast. Because, I don't know, they're almost like the point of view character for the person at home who is supposed to be, from a demographics perspective, probably a 10 to 12-year-old boy in Japan. So they need somebody on screen that they can relate with. Goku grows up, they give you a Gohan. Gohan grows up, they give you a Goten and Trunks, so on and so forth. I do think it's funny that it's such a little kiddish kind of show. Like, for sure, it is kind of like a Muppet Babies vibe, and I love that. Muppet Babies was my favorite shit when I was a little kid. But it's funny that it's set against the backdrop of, the demon realm and like demons coming out of the fucking, I don't know, the fish mouth transporter to like come to Earth. Like some of the visuals in that first episode are really, really cool, but also very, very Toriyama. And I'm thinking mostly of that big fat fish fuck in the sky who like allows them to travel to out of the demon realm and back over to the regular realm. He does not give any shits at all. I really like that when like Goma's like, I'm the new king of the demon realm. He's like, yeah, that's great. Anyway, what's the pin? Give me the pin. All right, this is the pin, but like you should know that I'm important. Sure you are. And I just think that stuff like that, little kind of jokes like that, are super Toriyama, man. And I think we're going to continue to see little pieces like that set amongst I don't know, a Dragon Ball story with circumstances that you pretty much couldn't have like dreamed up. Like I would have never thought that they'd take, again, the idea of it being reminiscent of GT and them all going to turn into little kids as opposed to just Goku, mashing that idea up with like them further exploring the lore of the demon realm and the Namekians and things like that. Kind of unexpected. And so far I'm having a really good time with it. That's I wrote down a couple other things for episode 1 that I probably should look at. But any other thoughts on episode 1 before you guys? For you guys,
you know, back in my day, you went to the demon realm through a door. Nowadays, you have to go through spaceships,
fish mouth, and a spaceship. Nameki. Oh, you know what? I kind of glossed over some heavy shit. So it's a big lore dump, but the whole. I think my favorite thing about that first episode is Namekians originated from the demon realm. And they kind of patch up a lot of damage, or a lot of, maybe not damage, but confusion.
Well, I mean, he was Demon Lord Piccolo.
Yeah, he was a Demon King Piccolo for forever. And then it's like, he grows up, he's like, actually, you're not the Demon King. You're an alien. And it's like, oh, I'm an alien. That's why I'm so powerful. And then he still, you know, claims himself to be part of like the Demon Clan through early Dragon Ball Z and all that. And you're like, what the hell does that even mean? I feel like maybe some of it got confused, at least for us here in the States. With some of the dub choices to like try to, you know, lean away from some of that demon stuff. Cause I'm sure Christians weren't into that shit in the mid 90s. Like green guy who's a demon. What are we talking about? So they just kind of leaned in more toward you're a spaceman. You're an alien. But to tie in those two kind of origins, masterfully done. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. One thing though, that I'm kind of like confused about, you guys tell me how you feel, is like a further retcon to the Potara fusion. But
I think they literally just keep forgetting how that shit works.
I know he does.
It's not they. It's one person.
Yeah, I know Toriyama does, dude. But it was just, it felt so forced in. If that makes sense, like
I feel like it was theorized that was a way that the Potaras could have broke, and I feel like he just made that theory real, like just like credited type thing.
Yeah. And I think somebody had said that there's a strong possibility that he didn't even realize that they used Vegito in Dragon Ball Super, and that this has been a thing that's already been discussed, and that like it's a 60-minute thing for mortals. He probably was like, wait, what? They did what? Vegito?
I wrote that?
for an episode and a half, he just shows up. But
then you gotta think, he
was not in the manga?
I believe he was. But
I didn't read the manga until after the show stopped because I'm not so great at the reading. My head's not very fast.
We say it on this show all the time. We are Dragon Ball fans. We're not here to read or whatever we say. But no, I mean, the show was in front of the manga for like months. Like it was like 4 or 5 months ahead of the manga. So I'm almost certain that until he gets to the Tournament of Power, there's not a whole lot that veers off course. They kind of simplify some stuff in that arc in terms of like, Goku Black goes from the future to the past, and they go from the future to the past, and they fight 3 times, and he's Super Saiyan, and not, you know, like there's extra or less steps, I guess, in the case of the manga. But they were using that anime pretty much as an outline for the manga, and I'm sure Toriyama was like, yeah, go do your thing, man. When we get up to the Tournament of Power, we'll talk about some changes. We're going to make Master Roshi dodge Jiren, and everyone's going to talk shit about it on the internet for the next decade.
That's true. I do
one of the
remember
best moments in the Dragon Ball manga. You got to give it props for that.
I thought it was cool as hell, but a lot of people were very upset.
They should have. I don't know. I feel like he hinted at that ability, and Dragon Ball when he was doing the whole vase bullshit, when he had the vase on his head and he was telling them that you could get to a point where it's like, I don't know. I just feel like he's always hinted at it, but that's just me.
Yeah,
Real Dragon Ball fan.
They kind of come back to that a lot.
Anyone could get lucky and dodge a punch from Mike Tyson, and that's all that happened.
Yeah, but
not like he beat Jiren.
Yeah, I mean, but he did something that a lot of people was like, "What the fuck? Hold up, how you do that?" You talking about all these other motherfuckers that train every day. Well, I guess you can't say Master Roshi don't train every day, but
dude, I love the young Master Roshi in the series, but we'll get to him in a sec. But yeah, the Fusion Potara stuff doesn't really change the Potara so much as it confirms that Majin Buu can break people apart in a Potara fusion in his stomach. It doesn't necessarily negate the whole mortals can only use it for 60 minutes thing, and Kai's is permanent. I don't know. It's weird that they put it in there. They must have really, really wanted Shin and Kibito to be like separate characters for this series.
Yeah. I just don't feel like it was even necessary to mention it, man.
Honestly, I wouldn't have thought anything of it. Although in Super, they're still fused, right? So maybe that's why.
For a little bit, yeah. I guess they try to carry on with that storyline that they were fused, and then how did they get unfused? But I don't think anybody would have even thought about that. But they needed to unfuse them, so I guess Kibito could be the little teleporter, and then
the errand boy
can go with Goku.
I wonder if they're gonna refuse by the end of this series, just so that we're back to the status quo of Dragon Ball Super before that starts.
I want to see how they tie that in. That's interesting because I was talking about that earlier. I was like, oh yes, I guess they're acting like this happened before Super. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like how all of the Dragon Ball series like either start or end, or sometimes both, at a birthday party or some kind of party, a gathering of sorts.
Parties just never go well.
Just a good excuse.
It's like a Frasier Crane dinner party.
Do they have a lot of dinner parties in Frasier? I don't know.
So it's a running gag. Frasier's always trying to throw dinner parties, and they're disasters.
Fucking Frasier. When will you ever catch a break? In terms of new characters, though, for Frasier, I don't think I have either. I know that I used to try to when I was younger because it was on TV a bunch in syndication, and it was just on, and I was like, "This is not for me."
But I know Kelsey Grammer. He made like a lot of money from that show. I think
probably
one of the few spinoffs that is longer than the original series. I think, right? Like Frasier went for considerably longer than Cheers went for.
That's funny.
What does Frasier have to do with Cheers?
That's funny.
He was a character on Cheers, wasn't he?
I was pretending like I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't even know. I've never seen Cheers either.
I've watched the first few seasons of Cheers and just random episodes through my life. Cheers is one of those classics that it's on. You're having a good time. It's always fun. Hey, new characters though. Before I fucking try to massacre episode 2 because there's no nice little synopses here for me to read. Of these new characters, who are you guys most intrigued by? Ray, we'll start with you.
Out of all the new characters, okay. Well, mainly all the new characters that come are all demons. So I think the older Namekian, or I guess the legend Namekian, because they kind of gave him more of a little tail in the second episode than they do in the first episode. When Piccolo somehow remembers him, which I thought that was straight BS. Like when I was so mad, I paused the whole episode. I said, how the fuck would he know that? Then I was like, oh, okay, I guess he did.
I've heard of him. When? When did you hear about him?
I had the same reaction, but honestly, though, you can just explain that away with. That's right. He's fused with Kami. He's got all of Kami's memories. Kami being.
I was thinking Nail.
That's what I was thinking, Nail. I was like, maybe Nail was what gave it, because other than that, I was like, that was straight. I straight paused it, and I was talking so much shit at work. But
I went to work that day. I talked so much shit about Dragon Ball.
That older Namekian, I feel like he is very mischievous. He has a type of air about him that's just like, hold up. He's plotting some shit. I think that's gonna be some interesting thing. I low key surprised he wasn't able to like make the dragon give them 3 wishes. To me, that would have been some low key. That would have been some right there. If he would have been like, "What the fuck do you mean?" I would have been like, "Hold up!" Like, okay. But other than that, I wouldn't be surprised if he do like a try to make himself younger type of thing. He has that air about me, like he feel like he's trying to do something low key, but I don't know. He comes off stupid in the beginning, like he's just joking around, but then he seems very mischievous. He seemed mischievous. Like when he started actually moving the Dragon Ball, like when he lifted his hands up and the Dragon Ball started coming, I was like, okay, this is another type of Namekian ability right here. I was glad they kind of giving him some lore right there because that was pretty cool. I was like, I wonder when Dende could do some shit like that. But I was like, maybe he need to get older or some shit like that because you can always kind of tie that to Dende being young and shit. But that older Namekian is probably the coolest character they've been brought in so far.
Yeah, I 100% want to just jump in on that because he's my pick as well. I don't think he's mischievous in an evil way. He strikes me as a guy who's playing dumb so that way he can do things the way that he wants to do them a little bit. So that way,
I can go with that though.
Maybe eventually he'll like double cross King Goma because it doesn't seem like he's particularly loyal to him. He's just like, oh, you want me to do this thing with you, Demon King? Yeah, whatever. I need my toothbrush. I don't take showers. I'm borderline senile. But he seems like somebody, like when he hears of other Namekians still existing outside of the demon realm, he seems genuinely happy and excited that he's going to go get to see another Namekian. And I don't know, it wouldn't shock me if maybe he's been in there for like thousands and thousands of years and he wants out and maybe he sees this as his opportunity. But I'm also kind of interested with him. I mean, he's obviously been a very useful plot device in these first episodes, just being able to gather up the Dragon Balls, turn them unstoned, use the wish. Although Shenron, dude, we'll get to Shenron. The people in the demon realm that protect, it seems they have a set of Dragon Balls. Maybe it's 3 Dragon Balls, but the Tamagami, that's kind of my second runner-up pick for things I'm interested in.
He created those, didn't they give him that lore too?
Yeah. So if he creates those guys and he protects the Dragon Balls of the demon realm, I'm just trying to like figure out. Like, I don't think he'd be a bad guy if he just let the Dragon Balls be used by all the demons in hell all willy-nilly. So he probably made those Tamagami characters to like prevent something like that from happening. But I think that their design is so fucking cool. It's like it's like an Ultraman Kamen Rider looking face with these big tall robots with these cool weapons. Like I'm excited to see them get activated and fight somebody at a certain point. So that's my second runner-up pick for things I'm most excited about after Neva. See what he does, but also what his creatures, the Tamagami, do. Josh, what is your pick for new characters that you're most intrigued by in this whole thing?
The sister, Dr. Aransu.
Ooh, the new waifu, yes.
She's up to something. She's reminding me of Android 21.
Yeah, totally Android 21 coded. Wake up, boys. Waifu just dropped.
We didn't get much of her, but we got enough to know that she's a schemer and she's up to something and it's going to be awesome. And in the last episode, she's going to screw everyone up. Second last episode.
So let me ask, I don't know if I assume it's her, but in the second episode, we get a proper opening and closing song, and a lot of the imagery featured in both of those features Goku running around with Shin, Glorio, and I assume a mini version of Dr. Irinzu. It looks like a mini version of Dr. Irinzu. If that's the case, was she affected by the wish for Shenron? Did she somehow help them defeat Majin Buu, or was she somehow involved in the battle against Majin Buu? Because otherwise, what would turn her small? That's assuming that character is her. It could be a completely different character, but they do look very similar, just like a shrunken down version of her.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that's not going to be her. I was thinking that'll end up being her daughter or sister or some weird crap.
They can do whatever they want with that. Episode 2 is just called Glorio. I love the name. Glorio is a fun name. I like his jacket. It looks like it'd be soft and warm. And I like that he has like a Han Solo gun thing going on. See if he uses it. I don't have a proper synopsis for this, but just off the top, I just watched it again from maybe an hour or two ago. Everyone gets turned into little kids. Everyone's very shocked. Why are we small? Krillin gets shit on because he always looks like a little kid. Always hilarious. First thing I noticed, though, and they say it, we're basically the same people, same mind, but we're in little kid bodies. Goten and Trunks. What's up with that fucking telepathic conversation that they had with each other? Did anybody else clock that?
They're besties, man. They're linked on a level deeper than you could imagine. It's a philotic link, like from Ender's Game.
Don't act like Goku can't read minds.
That's true.
Goku can. We've seen him do it whenever he needs to, but he hasn't done it in like 10 years. Back to the Ender's Game reference. Would you call it a philotic bond?
Yeah.
I don't think I remember that. Is that what he has with Bean? Is that what you're trying to say? Or a lie? Who does he have that bond with?
That's how they talk to each other during faster than light travel.
Oh.
They take the two molecules and one goes in each receiver.
So is that from like Speaker of the Dead?
Maybe.
Right.
I read a lot of Ender's Game.
I didn't do a good job reading grown-up Ender books. Grown-up Ender books, I was all set. But the Ender's Game, the first book, I read that like 10 times when I was a kid. So that's why I was like, wait a minute, I'm not familiar with that terminology. Anyway, yeah, man. I guess like they've been in the same body before, like a bunch fused as Gotenks. That's my headcanon.
Yeah.
What did you think I was describing, Josh? Like
nothing,
a DP
man.
kind of deal?
Same body, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the same body once. I don't know. It just definitely caught me off guard, but it's adorable to watch them have little baby fights and pinch each other's baby cheeks.
You babies understand babies, so.
Do they though?
Have you seen Rugrats?
Yeah, but those guys spend a lot of time with each other. I understand that what I just said.
Can we talk about Popo?
Yes.
Yes. I'm glad you brought up Popo.
That is the biggest.
Why did he turn into a bitch?
Why did he turn into a baby?
No, he turned into a bitch. I'm talking about the first episode. He could have did some least fighting. He could at least took one of them down. He jumped and act like he ain't trained to push some fight, some Saiyans or nothing. I was so upset with Popo right there.
We have seen him beat Goku's ass.
And he ain't even throw a fist. If I was Dende, I would fire Popo. I'd be like, fuck you. Cause I know if I was Kami, you would have gave your life for me. Like you didn't do shit right there.
That's true. Yeah, that's true, dude. They basically pushed Dende aside and Popo's like, y'all want some juice? Like he literally like offers
tea, like some cookies.
Oh
bitch,
man.
You go poison the motherfuckers. Like,
and I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, I mean, he definitely fought Goku. Again, I'm just thinking about, I hate the manga versus filler shit, but definitely fought young kid Goku in the manga. In the manga, though, did he fight Super Saiyan Goten and Trunks at the same time?
Yes.
I'm willing to bet he didn't, but I don't know that for a fact.
I remember seeing it in the anime, so I remember it happened.
Yeah, I think it's a fun filler thing, like getting ready to train for Buu just to draw that shit out. Because by that point in the anime, they were like on the heels of the fucking stuff all the time. They were always running out of shit to do. That's why you get things like 4 episodes of Great Saiyaman when it's like half a chapter, where you get 4 episodes of another world tournament that never even existed in the original. You know what I mean? Like, they would make shit up like that all the time, and it was fun. But I think a lot of people really do consider that when they see Popo be a bitch before he gets turned into a little baby bitch. They're like, wait a minute, you fought Super Saiyans once. You can't punch this clown demon bitch in the face? What's up?
Nothing. He raised your voice. He didn't do nothing. Like, come on.
Didn't even raise his voice. I think the horns thing, though. The horns thing
That's
is
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Why does he have horns?
Well, he better be a demon. I don't know.
Well, he does have pointy ears, right? So
anyone with pointy ears is a demon. That's the rule now.
Well, they do say that it's most people you can assume originated from the demon realm if they have pointy ears. It's not everybody, they say in the second episode, thankfully. But the horns threw me, man. He's just been hiding those fuckers underneath his turban all this time. None of us knew. How the fuck do you get turned into a baby and your fucking turban disappears? From science's perspective,
it's too big now. Or maybe he dropped the turban. It's probably like not. It's a traditional turban that he wraps himself.
Yeah,
every morning we know that, and it was probably too big. But yeah, the horns, man. I'm stuck on the horns. I really am.
Like you'd think the turban would come unwrapped, like when he turned into the baby. I wonder if
they're gonna be like he a monster or something.
Definitely a monster, some kind. He probably has roots in the demon realm, just like maybe that's why he's like destined to protect the Guardians of Earth, who have all been Namekians, seemingly to this point. Maybe they're linked intrinsically because of their origins to the demon realm. And Popo's, Popo a slave to the Namekians, you think? Because like they enslaved them in the demon realm.
That's the trend in anime. They have to throw slaves in. So maybe
that's why he didn't get do nothing for Dende. If he turned out to be a slave, then I take all my shit back. Because I understand. Maybe he was like, you know what, fuck Dende. It's like, my life ain't gonna change no way. Oh, fuck with that. But if he ain't, fuck you, Mr. Popo.
Yeah, that would be pretty fucked up if he wasn't his slave and didn't stand up for him. It's like, dude.
Oh, if I was dead there, that's all I'll be thinking about. I'll be like, I didn't broke bread with this motherfucker. And like this, he ain't do nothing. Like,
hey, you know who the real MVP for this whole thing has been for me to this point? Shenron.
Oh,
Shenron.
And yeah, let's talk about that,
dude. I think it's honestly Akira Toriyama throwing up another middle finger to us as fans, because we forget, he forgets. How does Shenron's wishes work again? It's like, it's 3, man. Come on, we've been over this. They got the one wish out, and Shenron's like, yeah, all right, peace. Wait a minute. Hey, I got more wishes. Nah, you're a first timer. That's just a bonus thing from my regular.
Like the first watch, I just groaned so hard, and now it's so hilarious.
I mean, it's funny because it's like, okay, Goku and them, they basically getting this as an extra bonus, even though we know that he Dende and them basically boosted it up. But it's like, it's just funny to me. It's like, okay, maybe now Shenron's like, I can't let the bad guys make all the bad wishes. You know what I mean? You get one. You better make one good one, because it's like, because you can go crazy with that. You know what I mean? 3 wishes.
Well, he's just weirdly specific with them too. He's like, wait a minute.
I ain't never seen you motherfuckers before. Like what?
How old do you need to be? All right. Well, what about the people who are already kids? What about them? I don't know, babies. Okay. Like, why is Shenron like that all of a sudden? Shenron's, for the most part, been pretty broad with how he'll interpret and then carry out wishes. Like, he's never asked clarifying questions before, but he sees these 2 little demon bitches and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna mess with you guys today. I don't know what kind of evil y'all are up to, but I'm gonna thwart it to some extent.
No, that's not it. What happened was he was fucking sleeping, and he's like, all right, I sleep for at least a year at a time. And they woke him up and he was pissed.
That's actually a really good theory there.
And then, if you'd be like, okay, we just want to make them smaller, but I need some pacification, because if he wanted to be a straight asshole, he could have just made them all like 2 inches shorter.
Make them small.
Like it's like.
So
that's why I'm like that. I'm glad he did kind of do that.
I think the wish to make them kids was more well thought out than I ever thought it was going to be.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think all the side effects of it is making it a better wish, because to me, it's kind of making me think, like, why is they like power, like having so much of a power influx right now? You would think they would have mastered their key by the point that this wouldn't even be a problem, but I guess not. And
that's funny. That's fun.
Yeah, kind of cool seeing them have to kind of train and get back into it, especially Piccolo talking all that shit. You can't get your shit together yet, Goku? Dude, you do it then, motherfucker. I'm glad Goku
smashes his face into a tree, has a nosebleed. That's been a fun thing, they're probably going to have different versions. I bet.
I want to throw one thing in right now. Sorry, I know this is being an asshole, but right now, the most useful person right now is actual Bulma.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, she's always useful. She's
always useful.
Sometimes you be questioning it, like, where she, but right now she is the most fucking useful person out here. And I do like the one dude hitting her like, bitch, this just a plane. What you talking about, spaceship? It just flew into the air, bitch, like into the space. Like,
it's just a plane. What are you talking about?
I thought that was kind of funny. Other than that, yeah, Bulma, you gotta give her props right now. Whoop whoop, Team Bulma.
So with Kibito, he's like the only one who doesn't seem to be affected. Like, he still uses his power really without issue at all. But this is something that they do with Kid Goku in GT, and it's like just basic feat checks once every few episodes. It's like, can I still do the Kamehameha? Oh yeah, no problem. Can I still fly? No problem. Can I still go Super Saiyan? No problem. Super Saiyan 3? No problem. Like, all the shit, right? Instant transmission and instantaneous movement. That's a really good example of one. I did it on the GT rewatch episodes I've done.
You can't make them too strong. You gotta take some of them away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to take away some of those advantages, right? So in GT, there's like him trying to teleport them places, and he's just like teleporting random spots in the sky and falling down like he's fucking Wile E. Coyote in a Roadrunner cartoon. Like it literally looks like that setting. And this is kind of, I think, a callback to that a little bit, where it's like him trying to fly and he can't do it, and he's just smashing into shit and falling down. That first time where he goes to fly and he smashes through that catering table with all that shit on it, it took me out, man. I laughed so hard when I saw that stuff.
I like the people minding the table, just watching him fall, just running away.
You gotta think they just seen them go from big to small, and they still working. I respect that because they like, this bitch gonna pay the check no matter what. So you might as well just act like we ain't seen nothing. But I'd like the scene with the power pole. I'm glad they brought it back. I love the little him showing Vegeta and everybody thinking he cool and everything, which it was a cool moment because I thought that was pretty nice. But Master Roshi just like, yeah, it's somewhere in this bitch. Like, and the turtle over here, like, oh hell nah. I hope these motherfuckers don't realize he using this dry as clothes, but
dry as skivvies out on the fucking backyard. So I don't know. I think I know my pick on this one, but of all like the non-important characters, not important to me, you know, Goku, Bulma, Vegeta, Piccolo, those are all the important ones. Non-important ones, I'm thinking more along the lines of like a Mutant Roshi or an Ox King, Mr. Satan.
Krillin.
Krillin's hilarious in this. Of all of those extra little ancillary characters who were around for when this happens, which one's your favorite new redesign, guys?
Ox King.
Yeah.
I love it.
He does look pretty sharp. That Yumao, that young Yumao.
I'm probably going to have to go.
Satan.
Mrs. Satan. Okay, that's a cool one. He looks like a real like kid type of like, I can be a superhero type of feel type of character. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, he's like wearing a cape and shit, looking like he's gonna go out trick or treating, dressed as his favorite superhero, except his favorite superhero is himself.
I think my favorite low-key has to be Master Roshi, and I just think it's just because of how he's just reacting to it, because he's just like, oh shit, like I'm back in the game, like he's making it seem like he back to bachelor status, like he about to go out and get some pussy type of thing. And I realize he like the first grade body type of thing, which is interesting to me. But I love the fact that he gets to get back to this young feel. I wonder what he's like wanted to accomplish, because he made it seem like he has some things he want to check off his bucket list. So I think that's pretty funny.
I love how he makes Goku. Goku's like, oh yeah, old timer, OG, fucking Kami-san and OG-chan, right? He's like, old man turtle hermit. He's like, no, now you call me the big turtle hermit. Like, what does that mean? You're not big, you're small. What does that mean? But they have to fix Shin's old spaceship to be able to follow. Oh yeah, Dende get kidnapped. Little baby Dende. That's actually a runner-up for my favorite like character redesign.
It reminds me of when we first met him.
Yeah, I mean even smaller though, because he's just like he's like sucking his thumb and shit. That's the Muppet Baby stuff, right? It's
like there. They took the whole Raditz storyline and smashed it into one episode.
Oh, because the baby gets kidnapped and taken away by Boba Fett. Yeah, feel it. But I totally lost my train of thought. I do appreciate all of the recasts and all of these new redesigns. The only original player we really have in this cast now is Masuko Nozawa as Goku. Everyone else is brand new voice actors, and they're all super fun. Like I saw pictures of the voice actors the other day, like next to their characters.
Well, Manatsu, she ain't playing. She like, I don't care what y'all do with the rest of these motherfuckers, but I'm getting my check.
I mean, she is Goku, dude. For them to try to do a series without Masuko Nozawa would be a fucking travesty.
Especially a part of me after Goku, Toriyama died. Oh,
yeah, and he's gone on record saying multiple times that she is Goku. She is the voice that he hears in his head when he's writing Goku. Like, come on, dude, to do a thing with her. And I need to dive into this a little bit more because I don't know all the facts on it. But there's a little bit of an uproar about her. Basically signing off to give AI rights to Toei and all those conglomerates to be able to use her voice for forever. I don't know all the details of it. I do recall seeing a detail that it's not meant to be for anime. It's supposed to be for promotional materials, whatever the fuck that means.
Oh,
I don't know. I want to dive into it. I haven't read enough about it, so I'm not going to speak about it right now. But it did kind of have me low-key wondering, like, you
she just don't
recast
want there
all
to
of
be
these.
another voice of Goku. It's gonna be her forever.
Yeah, because the Japanese government is allocating all of the proper resources to ensure that she lives to be 250 years old. I talk about it all the time.
That's actually not that old in Japan. They have a longer life expectancy.
Well,
They
then
live
in
like
that,
elves.
that's the case. I mean, she's got like what, another 170 years to go before we have to be worried. Then,
Yeah, we'll be dead by then.
I do wonder if this is like kind of a soft way to maybe start the recasting process at some point in time. Like they have somebody in mind down the line, shit, or you know, a Horikawa or the guy who does Piccolo, Fusutut, whatever the hell the names are. The
Whoever's
point
gonna
is,
be that new voice gonna be a hell of an impressionist because they're gonna be like, we want you to sound like this. I'm like, what about my own little spin? Nope, this.
my point in bringing any of this up is like, if you had told me that it was done by like in terms of the delivery of the lines, again, I don't speak Japanese, but like it sounds like Piccolo, but if it were a little kid, it sounds like Vegeta, but if it were a little kid, like my brain didn't even really put together that these were recasts until I saw that photo the other day. So I just think it's another feather in the cap of this show that they've managed to pull off recasting an entire, more or less, except Goku, the entire cast. They've recasted with new voice actors, and it's done really well. It's been pretty seamless and unnoticeable. I mean, you kind of don't play into the fact or acknowledge the fact that they're little kids now. We got to fix the spaceship. Shin's got a spaceship. Came here in a spaceship. Got to fix a spaceship. Bulma's going to fix a spaceship. And then Glorio shows up in his plane that is not a spaceship, but is a plane that travels through space. So plane ship, space plane, space
plane ship is what we're going to go with officially.
Space plane ship, plane spaceship, spaceship plane, spaceship plane. Who cares? Bulma, I love, has like the fucking the frame of mind, or like the I can't speak lately. Bulma's smart enough to take pictures of Glorio's spaceship to use as reference in fixing Shin, so that way they can get that kind of taken care of instead of the original 10 days expected. Maybe it'll only take a few days. Glorio, Shin, and Goku take off to go try to chase them into the demon realm, and will presumably be rejoined by Piccolo, Vegeta, probably Bulma at a later point in time, and Kibito. We'll see how this cast shakes out, but I do love how Piccolo is involved this much to this point. It'd be really easy to have this be the Goku and Vegeta show again, and the fact that it's focused around at least some sections of it around Namekians, like that's just Toriyama being like, Piccolo, you're my boy, get in here so I have something fun to write. Any other thoughts on episode 2? I don't really have too much more myself, but I do want to talk about opening and closing songs. Any last thoughts for you guys?
There was clearly enough room in that space plane for Vegeta.
Nope. Glorio said no.
Well, Glorio's up to something because Vegeta could have got in there. There was plenty of room.
You think Glorio is like, no, I got to separate these motherfuckers because I got to do some diabolical stuff, and Vegeta's too smart or whatever?
No, I think you need, if you do a team A, team B, you need a strong team B. So if you literally give them all the strong characters in team A, it's like, who going in team B? Piccolo? Krillin?
Piccolo's great.
Yeah, I mean, but we haven't even seen a Gohan, did we? I don't even remember seeing Gohan. So like,
he's being distant right now and studying bugs or whatever.
Wonder if he's not a baby.
He fought Boo.
He should be.
He was probably like giving a conference somewhere. He's like giving like a TED talk on stage about how bugs are cool or whatever, and turns into a baby. The
wish wasn't for everyone to fight Boo; it was for Goku's friends. And right now, Gohan's being distant, like not a friend.
Is that how they worded it?
Yeah.
I'll have to re-listen to it. But it'd be interesting if he's not affected by it.
Gohan's always been the adult in the series.
And what would be really funny about it would be the fact that if somehow he doesn't like interact, because that means maybe his wife didn't get affected by it either. So that means they don't interact with the whole cast until they turn back. That would be kind of interesting. Like, we ain't seen them in like I don't even know how many days this is over. because they'd probably be like, Daima over 3 days. He'd be like, what the fuck? Jeez.
Yeah, honestly, would that surprise you at all if they pulled that shit? Like, oh, and 72 hours later, we're all back to normal.
Dude, at the end of it, they're going to make a wish that everyone forgets all this ever happened.
Most likely.
Yes.
That's what they're going to do with those demon Dragon Balls.
It says, turn the ones who fought Majin Buu and all of their friends into children. I just pulled it up because I was like, wait a minute, what am I missing here?
So I remembered it wrong.
Let me see.
Yeah, that sounds like 2 wishes. That's probably why he was like, you know what? Needed some specifics.
I don't understand how people get like high quality screen grabs. Maybe it's because I'm a fucking idiot in their 30s, but I hate all the blackout technology when I go to get a screen cap of something. It's just like, nope, it's just black. You can still see the text of the screen with the subtitles, but I can't get this stupid picture of King Goma making his wish. Either way, do we see Gohan at all?
I haven't seen him. I don't remember.
No. I know that we haven't. But will we is probably the better way to say that.
Man, I didn't think too much about it, but now that I said that, I feel like they're going to try to finagle something where he's still an adult, and that's going to be the humor of it.
Oh, Dad, you and all your friends got turned into kids? Good thing we're not friends, Dad. I still remember what you did with selling the sensu bean, you bitch.
If you think about it, they don't really.
He didn't fight the version of Majin Buu we were talking about, so he didn't turn into it.
Oh, that kind of super technical, like he fought Super Buu or whatever. Like they're going to get him on that kind of technicality. You're saying?
I think they might.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool, especially if he like come in the end and do a save. But if he just him and his family just could chill somewhere on the side, and
I think he's going to be comic relief.
Could be.
Yeah, did we see Tien Shin Han in this at all, or Chaozu? I don't think so. Right?
So. Weren't they on the boat? They didn't get invited to the party? That's funny.
I don't think they did.
Oh, they might have got invited, but you know how Tien is.
I think we might actually. I see a Goku, I see a Vegeta, and then I think there's a shot of Tien right after that. Dude, maybe not. Have you guys?
It's a lot. It could be Krillin. There's a lot of people that's bald head that could be.
I gotta be before we wrap, guys. I've been back and forth on this opening song. People know who listen to the show for any extended period of time.
I haven't listened to it.
You haven't listened to the song? No?
I don't really listen to theme songs. Let's skip right into it.
Well, I typically skip them too, but I like the part where it's like there's going to be fun hijinks. And
this song is weird. I did a breakdown of Jaka John a few weeks ago on the show, but it wasn't the official version of it. It was like this version that was basically played under the trailer, the promotional material we've been seeing the last month. So it's like a truncated version of it. It's more or less the second half when the hook kicks in. And I like started working on a little bit of an acoustic version of it. I don't know if I'm going to attach it to this episode or not, but this episode premiere was the first time that we heard the full song. And I got to be real, dude. The first half is such, I don't want to say a downer, because it's a good enough song, I guess. I don't think it's good enough for a Dragon Ball opening song personally, but it's a fine song. But the beginning of it is like so laid back and low key, and then it halfway through is when that main hook comes in. But it's such a slog to get there, dude. And the way that they chose to do this episode with no opening, and the ending of it is the playing of the opening, it just felt so strange. Watching the opening today, yesterday for episode 2, and having it be like a properly formatted episode of what the show will be week to week. The opening, again, the first half of it's kind of weak to me. I'll tell you though, the closing song I think is one of the I think it might be the worst Dragon Ball closing song I've ever heard. It's more of what I'm saying about the opening song, and that it's just laid back and kind of meandering and aimless, it feels. But it's also such a clear rip, like it's done in the same exact key. It's done as like almost like a counter melody to the opening song. It feels like almost like a ripoff, but like not done particularly well and done in a lazier, less inspired fashion. I think Zed wrote both songs. I don't know who performs them or whatever, but he like borrowed his own song to do the ending song. And I'm not really down with the music for this series so far. I don't know if you guys have put any thought into that shit, but I unfortunately have to think about it all the time because my brain's broken. Any thoughts on the music?
No.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Like I said, I don't normally really pay attention to it. It have to be a super banger for me to be like, hold up, what the fuck?
I'll be honest, the only
sometimes I
anime
skip
theme
over.
song I've ever really gotten that into was the opening to the second season of Jobless Reincarnation. But then they changed that. I'm not happy. But
Nope.
I can't do anything about it, guys.
Well,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I can listen to the song all I want though, so it'll be okay.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. This is it's a decent enough song, but it's not the best. It's the worst. I think these are the worst Dragon Ball opening and closing songs. That said, I think the opening song is fine. I think it's got a strong hook. The first half of the song kind of blows though. All right, so that's it. That's super dope. We'll be continuing to do these more or less week to week. I do want to do a catch up on the first 3 Ranma episodes at some point in the next few weeks. Josh, maybe you'd be good to come back for that, maybe.
I would love to,
because Ranma has been fun. Definitely not the original series, and I miss the aesthetic of the original series, but you can tell that this new series is being done with a lot of love and a lot of care, and I'm having a great time. It's very fucking funny so far. Raysean, you want to plug your shit first before we wrap it up?
Well, we've been interviewing a bunch of voice actors on my podcast, so if you guys want to tune in to hear some of those, we still got a few still coming out, so that'll be pretty dope. We also going to be covering Bleach soon, so if you want to hear about something a little different, but I know that's kind of weird advertising that on a Dragon Ball pod, but I'm just letting you guys know.
No, I'm sure that there's people in this who listen to this stupid show who like Bleach, so yeah, good job.
I saw an episode of Bleach.
I've never seen any episodes of Bleach. Is it about doing the laundry?
No, it's pretty good show right now. Pretty good.
Pretty good show about doing the laundry. Josh, what's up in your world, man? I feel like I haven't talked to you in months.
It has been months. Yeah, I mean, we're still hitting the podcast every once in a while. We're looking into reformatting to be a little more Digimon centric, but we haven't landed on anything yet.
Oh, old Digimon pod.
Old Digimon, or they've released more modern series, right?
Digimon's a complicated bag with multiple universes, but yeah, essentially
the yourselves the Digiconkers.
Yeah, first series was Digimon Adventure, and that's what they've made the most of. They actually just made a new movie last year.
Oh, we're actually talking to somebody from one of the Digimon movies.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of movies, did either of you get to go see the new My Hero movie the other day?
Yeah, I did. Right. I talked to the guy that plays the
Yes, I saw that.
Man,
the dude on the motorcycle, right? Uh-huh. I can't remember his name right now, but that character was cool as hell.
It was dope as fuck.
We should do one on that one. I had a blast with that one. It's evil Italian All Might, and it's so fucking cool. It's so funny. It's such a funny show.
Well, My Hero movies are cool to go watch because they actually are movies. They actually give you a plot and stuff like that, even though it's not super connected to the anime, but it's.
Still, are they canon or are they standalone?
Well, the people in them are like canon, but I don't know if the actual things that's happening in the movie are canon. They never bring that stuff back up.
Yeah,
I actually always liked that the Dragon Ball movies weren't canon because it just gave them some room to play. And they weren't all great, but I liked that they weren't stuck to a certain continuity.
Each My Hero movie, I think, fits in somewhere in the anime. Where there's even been like setup episodes in the anime where like you finish the episode and it's like, young Midoriya, get in this limo, we gotta go do the first movie. They always fit in such a way where it doesn't disrupt the flow of the story of the anime, but like the anime never really references in very rare cases
the people in those.
They reference Melissa Shield from the first movie, right? Yeah. I think is her name.
Uh-huh.
The second one, they don't ever reference that, where he fucking shares the power of One for All with Bakugo. They never reference that.
But they bring those kids back up that's in that movie. They show those kids again.
Oh, I don't remember. I haven't watched that movie since it came out. This movie was cool because it fits in the middle of this last season or two with all the jailbreakers. Me and Feds walked in like 5 minutes late, so we missed the first couple minutes of the movie. But I quickly like ascertained it's like, oh, they're going off on a little side mission to go deal with some jailbreakers while the greater fight is going on before the big shit happens in the anime. So they always kind of slotted in a way where it's like, this could have happened. We just didn't show it on your TV screen. But
yeah,
we'll
I
talk about
watched
it
that
more.
in the theater by myself.
I mean, I've been to see movies by myself. I understand.
You were the only person in the theater, or you went by yourself?
I was the only person in the whole theater.
God,
I guess
that
I went by
sounds
myself
awesome.
too.
I would have killed for that experience, dude. I had so many fucking people in our theater. They also put us in the smallest theater in the theater, but there was probably 30 people in there. And I was like, this is too many people. It's also 4:30 on a Saturday. So
It's funny because I have picked the seat all the way at the end, and I was like, you know what, I might as well just sit in the fucking middle. And I straight just went right in the fucking middle, got some popcorn, and just was like, fuck it.
damn,
Talking,
dude.
had my phone on. Yeah, like I might as well have fucking home, basically.
Yeah, I could talk.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
cool.
I was like, if I left the movie and somebody was like, "What, you fucking had your phone on the whole time?" I'd be like, what the fuck were you?
Where'd you come from?
Like, gee, woo, you should have said something.
Whew. All right, so that's going to do it for Super Dope today. Make sure you go check out RGAP. Make sure you go check out Dad's Anime Stash. And we'll be back again soon. Real soon. That's it. I'm trying to figure out, in case I do a Jaka John, you know what I mean? I don't know how it ends, really.